And so names are very, very important, and there's also spiritual significances to names. So if we take it to biblical times, we can look at our disciple for this month, which is Peter. And here's what happened. In the book of John, two guys heard that John the Baptist was speaking about this really cool dude. And they said this dude was the anointed one or the Messiah. And they thought, okay, so I think I should introduce this anointed one to my brother. So one of the two was Andrew, and he was Simon's brother. So Andrew takes Simon up to this anointed one that we know of as Jesus. He said, here's my brother. And Jesus says to him, no, your name is no longer Simon. Your name is Peter. Now, where did he get Peter from? What? How do you go to Simon and jump over to Peter, right? Like that's like Elizabeth and Lilibet. None of them they don't go together. But Jesus had a reason why he renamed Peter. And that is because Peter, well, if we look at the Aramaic translation of Peter, it's Cephas. And when you translate it into Greek or Latin or whatever, it means Petra, which means a rock or a stone. And then in English, it's translated to add an ending on it, a masculine ending, and that's why we get Peter. So he's Peter, a.k.a. Cephas. And it just happens to be that Peter is our what we start January off every month. Thank you, Charles Fillmore. Because Peter represents the rock, the foundation, and this is the foundation of our new year, our new beginning, our new you. And so when we look at Peter, we also look at a few more things, right? That he represents faith. Because if you have a foundation that you're starting, so let's say you're building a house, and every house has to have a foundation, right? Otherwise, it just all fall down. That's why we can't have, like, card houses. Cards, to stack. You ever did that? Had a stack of cards, and you made a house out of it, and then it fell down? Because it didn't have a foundation. So when we build a house, a for real house that we might live in, don't build it out of cards. And so you have a foundation. So Jesus said that Peter is the rock, right? And a foundation has some rocks in it. Of course, if you have concrete, that's about, even though it's ground up, there are rocks in it, I can guarantee you. And so he becomes this foundation. And so every year we get to see and we get to affirm that Peter, yes, that's the disciple that Jesus said, you will build the rock. You are the rock. You are the foundation of the church. Whatever church is. Whatever we want to call it. But it's the foundation of our own core beingness, really. And the location that is associated with faith, Peter, is right in the center of the brain. If we took a wire and we went this way and that way, and by the time we get to the center, that's where faith is. Even though we can't see it, we can't touch it, it's there. And the corresponding color that goes with faith is what? Blue. You got to know it. So some of us, are wearing blue in different places, including our hair, just because we can. Thank you, hairdresser. But anyway, but this brings us to our ceremony for today, which is our white stone ceremony. And Charles Fillmore, our co-founder of Unity, wrote this in a book called Christian Healing about faith. And he said that faith is exercised deep in spiritual consciousness, that it finds its right place. and that it is without variation or disappointment, and the results are seemingly miraculous.